Dozens of ISIS terrorists killed in a series of U.S. airstrikes. The terrorists targeted as they apparently tried to escape Fallujah. CNN Pentagon correspondent Barbara Starr live with the very latest for us. Barbara, what have you learned?
Good morning, Victor. The U.S. says they did strike this convoy of trucks leaving southern Fallujah, and it may be that dozens of ISIS fighters were killed. The Iraqis are saying they were also involved in the strikes, and they believe there were hundreds of vehicles and hundreds of ISIS fighters killed as they tried to escape Fallujah, which, of course, fell to Iraqi forces liberating the town from ISIS over the last several days. Why is this video so interesting? Because the question is, why would ISIS risk becoming such a target, putting hundreds of fighters in one spot where they had to have known they would be seen from the air and bombed? U.S. officials say they think this actually is a real sign of desperation by ISIS to get out of the way. But, you know, there's another bigger picture at play here. As we've discussed this morning, the CIA says ISIS still a very long way to go. They have a very significant capability to launch terror attacks, especially in Europe, outside of Iraq and Syria, as we have just seen in Istanbul. And I have to tell you, a top U.S. Air Force intelligence official has told us this week when he looks at the targeting campaign, hitting the right targets, hitting the targets that really matter, he gives it a 5 out of 10.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Hello. It's nice to see you all here. Now, as the more perceptive of you have probably realized by now, this is hell. And I am the devil. Good evening. But you can call me Toby, if you like. We try to keep things informal here, as well as infernal. That's just a little joke of mine. I tell it every time. Now, you're all here for eternity. Ooh, which I hardly need tell you is a heck of a long time. So you'll all get to know each other pretty well by the end. But for now, I'm going to have to split you up into groups. Will you stop screaming? Thank you. Now, murderers. Murderers, over here, please. Thank you. Looters and...
has caused problems, and that is certainly not going away.
Stuart, for the moment, thanks very much indeed. So we saw pictures, that's the exterior, isn't it, of the airport, but the pictures we saw previously looked like people hunkering down in one of the shops, presumably in the terminal building. Such fear now when you hear a multiple weapon attack like this. There's reports of Kalashnikovs being used, possibly grenades, 2 suicide bombers. Those are the reports we're getting. We wait, obviously, in these early phases for the true information to feed in. But Joe Tidy, bring us up to date as we watch these pictures, certainly, of people trying to get information about what's happening outside.
Yeah, I imagine these people are being held on the inside, aren't they, to try to reduce any more injuries. But I'm certainly looking online, looking on social media.
أشهد أن محمدًا رسول